Y'all know what we do here. No need for an introduction, but if you do need an introduction, it's me, TBH, Ethos, and JoJo, and we just watched Youjo Senki again, the second episode, subbed, but I'm sure he's the voice of the dub, community. So
yeah, let me just clarify something real quick, yo, YouTube. It said TBH here, aka the internet's #1 casual anime reviewer, voice of the dub community. I am your leader. Don't get it twisted. I did watch this sub, but that's only because I have to. I'm still the voice for y'all. We're working out a union so we can get some rights going for the dub community because we will not be disrespected. And anybody who doesn't think dubbed anime is better, you can suck my dick. But go ahead, Anon.
Sensational. So, yeah, I guess. So we just
what did we watch?
We just watched the second episode of Youjo Senki, and for those who saw our previous video on it, we were like, it just started, but episode 1 shaping up to look real dope. The concept is interesting. This episode we got a lot more backstory on what was going on, and essentially how this evil little lolly Tanya was a much older, evil, reincarnated salaryman who was a dick in his previous life and didn't believe in God. So God pretty much tried him and reincarnated him into a little girl and put him into like the worst possible situation ever. And I have to say, I was saying dimension. In another dimension. I have to say this is easily, to me, shaping up to be the best anime of the season. Like, I don't know what the end game is, but like these 2 episodes alone, I'm like, yo, this is fire. Soundtrack, fire. Animation, fire. There's so, like, even the soft moments in between the pull-up are fire because the anime is about war. So it's still interesting. I just think it's just dope. I don't know. Ethos, what'd you think?
I liked it. I was surprised. He basically described it. It is Battle for One with mages. That's the best way I could describe it. I like this one was like definitely more story focused than the previous one. So it definitely gave, it set the groundwork. There's some stuff that still needs to be explained. I liked it overall. Although it was fun to watch.
True,
Jojo?
TBH.
Jojo, what'd you think? Because this is his first time watching it too.
It was straight.
Damn, Jojo hating.
No. If you don't like it, let him talk. Let him talk. It's good. It's good for the video. Go ahead. Tell us what you didn't like about it. I respect it.
If I said it was terrible, then I'd be wrong.
He always says it's alright. He always says it's.
No, go ahead and talk that shit because Anon said it's the best. Let JoJo speak his mind.
I mean, we just had the second episode, so I'm not going to just say, oh, this shit, like this is like the best shit I've seen, because like it could turn into shitty anime. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that. JoJo's seen a lot of stuff. It's been a lot of. It's been a lot of stuff that started out fine.
Yeah, and then, exactly. It's been a lot of stuff that starts off good and then ends up shitty. So as of right now, it's good, but I don't know if that's how.
Say what you want to do. Tell that nigga Anon pump his brakes. Tell that nigga pump his brakes now.
I just want to let y'all niggas know I'm ready to fight all y'all niggas anytime, any place, anywhere, boy. So watch what you say to me, boy.
That shit nice, but just chill out, bro.
All I'm saying is you gotta ease up on the brakes. I'm not gonna say pump them. Just ease up a little bit. Let's see how it goes. 5 episodes down, it may still be lit, So I don't know.
I'm calling it.
Yeah, I don't want to make that type of prediction. Like it's too early in this shit. It's only 2 episodes. What I will say that's interesting about this entire story is about a dude who got reincarnated into a little girl on Earth 2, gets turned into a powerful mage, and basically the whole story is about this guy is trying to smite God. Like I think that's the most interesting part about it. Is like he's like,
being petty.
It's a petty ass anime, and that's what's interesting about it. It's like,
he don't want to acknowledge God, so he's like, nah, nigga, I'm gonna do this on my own.
Even though he's seen God.
Yeah, he's seen God. He's talked to him. I'm not accepting you.
God turned you into a little girl, and he gave you powers, and you spoke to him before you died, and you still don't believe in him. He said, "Fuck that, God ain't real. I'm for the start of war. I'm pulling up." That's the most interesting thing about it to be in the anime. It's just funny to me.
This man straight up said, "Yo, you ain't real, but you talking to me." It's like, nah, dog. The only people who believe in God are people who are in dire straits. So what you saying is, if I put you in them straits, you gonna believe in me?
Exactly.
No, hold on. All right, I'm gonna try you. It was a prank, bro. It was a prank. And he was like, all right, we're gonna see this prank. So this is interesting. Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, I probably gotta wait because I haven't seen everything this season, but it's definitely stands out from the other stuff I've seen this season. I don't know if it's gonna beat Dragon Maid, but we'll see.
I love the art style, like in the facial expressions
yeah.
that she does. Like it's just like deliciously evil. I will say,
exactly.
I would prefer them to make episode 2, episode 1, like swap them out in place. I feel like it still would have worked in terms of the timeline.
Yeah, 2 would have been better than 1. Yeah.
Yeah, just explaining.
Actually,
it.
no, I like the way that they did episode 1 because episode 1 I feel like was meant to engage you. It starts off with pull up, and you see that this chick is like crazy or whatever. It's like action packed from front to back. So it's like, all right, the people who don't want a slow starting anime or don't want all this exposition in the beginning, they get what they want, and then the second episode is like, all right, this is why.
I have to disagree
X, Y, and
because
Z.
It's like how Star Wars is pretty much.
I disagree because I watched after we dropped our review for our impressions of the first episode. I went through and I read some of the comments, and I saw multiple people say they went and watched it, and they were saying like it's like a 6 or a 7 because it gets it starts off fire, and then in the middle it kind of slows down and then turns up in the end. And I have to admit, after watching the first episode of Ethos and JoJo a second time, I'm gonna have to agree with that. That's a fair criticism. It does get slow in the middle, and it turns up. That's why I said if they would have flipped it. Because like we always make that argument on that the first episode is the most important in terms of setting the tone. If they would have flipped that second episode and made it first, and made that just because the second episode was just straight fire, and then maybe slowed it down a little bit with the first episode making that the second, I think that would have been a better pace for the show, in my opinion at least.
I feel you. I think if they would have done that, the second episode would have had to end a bit differently.
It wouldn't. It need to be like the problem with this episode, and I think this was the issue you had with the first episode, was like, okay, what's the end point? And this episode kind of hints at it right in the last 15 seconds, and that's the problem. It's like there's a scientist, and it looks like he's building something, but again, we don't know what it is, so we have to wait till the next episode to figure out. But yeah, I think that's the only issue I have with this anime.
Oh, he was building her new magic thing that you saw in episode
crystal
1.
or whatever.
The crystal thing, I don't know. Is he a friend? Is he an enemy? Like
I'm pretty sure that's an enemy. That's got to be an enemy. He could be a mole inside, and he flips on the empire or something like that.
Yeah, this is all speculation.
Yeah, I don't know all about that, but
that's my only. That's my biggest critique of it right now. It's like I don't know what's the point. I think that's my biggest thing when I'm watching anime. Is like, what's the point of this right now? So maybe it's explained next.
If I had to guess, because from what we've seen so far, her motives are to just smite God. Maybe like she has some type of crazy battle with God at the end of the show.
I think
don't say that. I don't. I'm gonna get triggered. I'm gonna get triggered.
I would have to
life. Trust me.
I would have to say that it's actually gonna be something different because in the first episode you notice that before she goes into battle she prays to God. So I think the first episode was like a little further in the future because she even looks a little bit older. She looks like 10, 11. Yeah, exactly. And they're in the past now. And I think something happens and she's like,
she believes in God,
I believe and acknowledge God, because it makes no sense for her to be praying if really in her head she's like, I do this all for myself. Like, because it makes no sense for her to be so patriotic and like praying to God when she doesn't believe in the concept of God, period.
Yeah, that's something maybe they could have improved on because even from watching both episodes, it's kind of hard to tell the time difference. It's like, it seems like it's like, oh, this is only like a week or something apart.
It's because she's a little girl.
Right, yeah, it's hard to tell. So maybe, yeah, like I think that's good because I know TBH sometimes critiques that what's the point of telling me, what's the point of if I know what the end's gonna be? But it's like, I guess it's to see how you get from point A to point B. So to see how she turns from like saying, yo, like I don't believe in this dude God, and to accepting him or like calling on his guidance, that'll be interesting. The only reason why I don't want her to face off against God is because that's what they did in No Game No Life, and it left on a cliffhanger that triggered me for a whole year. So
right, yeah.
You're a weeb. You're a weeb.
You don't understand. If this ends up on a cliffhanger like that, I'll be very triggered. So
the dub community doesn't care what you're talking about, Ethos. Back to my notes. Wow. The one thing that I got out of this episode. We out here, Dubbed Army. Put it in the comment section. I'm working on our rights. We will not be slandered anymore. The one thing I took out of this episode that I was asking is, well, I wrote down two things, but we already just talked about it. Who's going to be the antagonist? They kind of hinted at it. I was like, all right, so it's going somewhere. We just don't know. The second thing I wrote down is, what is her weakness? From what we've seen in the first two episodes, she's basically unstoppable. And it's the same issue. It's the same thing I have.
I think her arrogance is her fault.
Okay.
I think that's what's gonna. I think that's gonna be.
Yeah, because even in her previous life, it was kind of just like, oh, I worked hard, and
that's why he died.
Like, and I'm good at all these things. I'm good at being better than other people. Like, that's her whole thing, is her arrogance. I got
a feeling like her
comrades
will turn on her or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Because especially if you saw the way that homegirl looked at her when she found out, like, oh, you sent those 2 niggas to die in the pillbox. In the last episode.
Tragic.
Like,
actually, yeah, so, and then in the training she abused her cadets.
Yeah, authority.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're kind of hinting at that. Yeah, so people might flip on it. Okay. That's my only question. Anything else anybody had to say about the show?
No, it's pretty good. Go watch it.
I think it's super duper fire. It makes me want to play Battlefield 1 right now.
Yeah. So I'm tired of these niggas hearing my voice. So this has been Anon, Ethos, JoJo, and TBH. And I am the voice of the dub community, casual anime reviewer, the #1 internet casual anime reviewer. Let us know what you guys thought about Youjo Senki. What this shit called again, nigga?
Youjo Senki.
Yeah, Youjo Senki boost.
How about you say the dub version of it?
Oh yeah, it's called Saga of Tanya Evil or some shit. I don't know, nigga. I don't know what none of this shit is called. I just watch it. To be entertained. I just don't care. I just don't. What's the name? Let us know what you think in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys were entertained, and feel free to leave any suggestions on what anime you guys think we want to watch. But yeah, we gonna holler at y'all later. Peace out. Bye.